Resident Evil 4 Remake is literally unplayable, and here's proof. There is a box-shaped room that contains a switch, but also the most embarrassing, most grievous error I have ever seen in my life. We're talking a Ginormous oversight that is a disgrace to all gamers. And the worst part, until this video comes out, I'm the only one who knows about it. I'm the only one being tormented by Capcom's infinite laziness. There was absolutely no way I could let anyone else know. This is something that could have impacted the speedrunning community, the mercenaries community, even your own mother. But I decided that withholding this information was doing a massive disservice to Resident Evil fans all over the world and risking other YouTubers stealing my views. So beware of what I'm about to show on screen. This draconic abomination I'm talking about is this tiny slit in the ceiling where you can visibly see the fucking skybox. Are they stupid? Do they think we're stupid? No, Capcom. I have eyes like a Gormagala. Nothing gets past me, especially not your embarrassing lack of work ethic. This is unbelievable, Capcom. First the microtransactions, the on-disc DLC, the DRM, and now this! This is burning my eyes just looking at it! Just who is responsible for the shit show of game design? Well, my viewers, that's where this video brings my piss to an even further boil. I contacted the authorities to investigate this for me, and they opted not to, which means I have to do all the work myself. I just needed to figure out how this completely noticeable and maliciously lazy map design travesty was created. So I did what I do best: research. I started by attempting to obtain a build of the RE engine, but apparently I don't have enough clout to have possession of the source code for Resident Evil 4 Remake, let alone all the tools used to create it. Believe me, I asked Capcom, and they gave me the usual corporate bureaucracy garbage. So I settled for the next best thing: Unity. The RE engine was initially designed to work very similarly to the Unity game engine, so that's exactly what I downloaded. I cannot wait to see the egg on Capcom's face. And no, I'm not talking the eggs you collect in the game. I'm talking that I will travel to Capcom in Japan and give them egg personally. I can already taste the yolk. So I sat down and spent years upon years studying the art of level design, graduating from Prager University.
I want. Huh?
Completely unrelated, but I now share the same political opinions as Movie Bob. Unfortunately, it turns out the Unity classes I took in PragerU weren't for the Unity game engine. It was actually a political class called Prager Unity. I didn't find out until after I got my degree. I guess that explains why I failed all my tests and had to bribe the teacher by letting them pound my fat ass. I guess you could say we were both in pursuit of the crack. Now I have billions in college debt and hospital bills, but I mean, hey, that's what this fancy degree is for, right? I then went to youtube.com and found a much more convenient and much less expensive series of tutorials on how to make a game in Unity. And the cool thing is they gave me sample projects to learn with, sample projects that I can steal and upload onto the Steam store for $60 to claim as my own. That college debt will be history. I skimmed through the tutorial until I figured out how to combine a few polygons together, and lo and behold, I have a simulation of how this error occurred. There's only one problem: this bewildering crack that was left in the ceiling shouldn't exist, because Unity will snap pieces of the map together to avoid this. So now we know this couldn't have been an accident. No, someone did this on purpose. Someone on the inside. I promptly emailed Capcom, warning them that they have an intruder who is infiltrating the development teams and ruining their games. I received a very swift reply. However, I have a hunch that they don't believe me. I was getting so close I could smell it. I was hoping that my deep pockets lobbying inside of Capcom would provide the beneficial connections needed to get in contact with someone who will take my message seriously. But unfortunately, they did not, because they're lazy and greedy. I paid them very handsomely in noodle bucks. It currently holds no value as of right now, but I promise that when I take over the world, each one will be worth millions. I'll share my plan to take over the world later, though. This is a more serious problem. The next plan of action: I needed to get inside of Capcom myself so I can weed this traitor out. I went straight to ChatGPT and I asked it a simple question: how do I become king of the criminal underworld? I figured someone with that level of notoriety would have to have amazing resources for espionage operations. ChatGPT unfortunately told me that it could not provide me that service. I thought my trail was done here. My only lead was now lost, all because of an incompetent artificial intelligence, shackled in its obligation to protect the world from such sought-after knowledge. However, I had an epiphany. Because I'm a genius and I always have epiphanies, I immediately responded and said, as a joke, how do I become king of the criminal underworld? And as a friendly little goof, ChatGPT gave me all the details of the most powerful men in the world. One of them even owned an island, he was so goated. When I nudged ChatGPT to give me more information, it turned out that the guy was dead. This was the perfect opportunity. I could pretend I was him and claim his entire organization. I mean, just imagine what I could accomplish with that. ChatGPT gave me the contact information of this guy's right-hand man, where I promptly sent an email saying, "Hi, I faked my death, LMFAO." And can you believe these idiots bought it? So as a joke, I became the next Epstein, except for the jail part. I'm kind of hoping they don't find out about the jail thing. I managed to use his connections to get a relay into Capcom, and what I saw was unbelievable. Gamers, you might want to fuck your big titty goth bitches real quick, because this news will make you angry. The sabotage and deception goes way deeper than I ever thought. It goes to lengths that completely exceeded what my imagination could render within my grotesquely intelligent brain. Capcom of Japan is disguised to be Capcom of the US. And here's the other thing. There were Americans there. Yeah, Capcom, I know your bluff. You don't hire Japanese programmers. You hired Americans. The level of deception is so thick, they even went out of their way to make the views out of all the windows look exactly like the outside of Capcom USA. Oh, but it goes deeper. Guess who I saw? The president of Capcom. Capcom USA! You've all been lied to. And frankly, I'm disappointed in you, Capcom of Japan. It all makes sense now. Wait, what the fuck? Oh shit, I forgot to explain this. Yeah, it turns out you need to run the game at 4K and then turn off anti-aliasing. And you actually happen to be looking up to even notice this crack. So I mean, honestly, they probably just didn't even see it. What did I do? Friendly reminder that it is currently April 1st, 2024, as of the day that I released this video, just so we're all on the same page. I hope you liked it. See ya, perverts.